Welcome to Keeping It Simple Crafts. I hope everyone is doing good. Today I have my little helper, Parker, here with me. Say hi. So today we're going to be making a wreath. This is going to be made with the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath ring. And we're going to be using some of the Dollar Tree 6-inch mesh. So you're going to need 9 rolls of the Dollar Tree mesh. And you're also going to need a cute sign. And can you help me hold it? I have lots of cute signs, so I'm not sure what sign I'm going to go with yet, but give me just a second and we'll get started. We are going to be using the bubble method to make this wreath. So you're going to need 9 rolls of 6-inch Deco mesh from Dollar Tree, 1 14-inch wreath ring from Dollar Tree, some pipe cleaners, a couple zip ties, your scissors, and you'll want to cut your pipe cleaners in half, and you're going to start with 3 rolls. So open 3 rolls, put 1 roll right on top of the other, gather them together, scrunch them together in your hand, and we're going to go to our wreath ring, that crossbar right there. Now you can either take your zip tie or a pipe cleaner to secure your mesh to your wreath ring. I usually start out with a zip tie, but then the rest of the time I use pipe cleaners. Now some people like to use zip ties the whole time, so it's up to you. So just secure the zip tie or pipe cleaner around your mesh. Make sure you get it nice and tight and secure. And then we're going to be making bubbles. So move your hand down about 6 or 7 inches. Squeeze or scrunch your mesh together in your hand. Now we're only going to be using the middle 2 wires on this wreath ring. So we made our first bubble, about a 6 or 7 inch bubble. We're going to take a pipe cleaner and we're going to wrap it around our mesh and those middle 2 metal wires. Go to the back and give those pipe cleaners a few twists and then fold them down. Now we're going to repeat the same process. Try to keep your mesh in the exact same order and not let it get twisted or tangled up. So move down about 7 inches, gather your mesh together, then you're going to secure it to those middle 2 wires with a pipe cleaner. This is my favorite way to use Dollar Tree mesh. Dollar Tree mesh frays a lot, and so using the bubble method keeps down the fraying. So you're going to continue making 7-inch bubbles. And there's sweet Willow Ray. She had to come say hi. She always has to check out my wreaths to make sure I'm making them okay. Just try to remember when you're doing the bubble method, it's very important that you make your bubbles the same size each time. So if you need to measure each time, measure. But after you do it a little while, you'll kind of get the hang of it and you'll know exactly how far down to move your hand, and that way it's a lot easier to make. I get lots of messages on Instagram and Facebook. So if you're not following me on Instagram and Facebook, go find me at Keeping It Simple Crafts. But I get lots of messages asking what's a good DIY to make with a church group. Or sometimes they say that they're having a craft night and they need a quick and easy DIY. So I think this would be a perfect wreath to make with a group. It's simple. You're going to be making 7-inch bubbles all the way around the wreath, and you are going to, in each section on this wreath form, you are going to put 7 bubbles. So 7-inch bubbles, 7 bubbles per section. So easy. So this would be a good one to share, like if you're in charge of a craft night or whatever. So mark this one down because it's a good one and super easy. here I am just counting my bubbles. So for this 14-inch wreath ring from Dollar Tree, 7 bubbles works out perfect. So in each section, make 7 bubbles. You will need to purchase 9 rolls of this mesh. You will have a little bit left over, but not a whole bunch. I have several wreath tutorials where I use the Dollar Tree 6-inch Deco mesh. I have some where I've used 3 different colors of the Deco mesh, and it turns out so pretty when you separate the bubbles. So I'll try to link one of those tutorials for you in the description box, just in case you haven't seen it made with 3 different colors. It really has a wow factor. I get lots of questions about using Dollar Tree mesh, and I'll admit I don't really like to work with Dollar Tree mesh too much because of the fraying, but when you do the bubble method, I can handle it. The thing with doing this method is when you're making your bubbles, just make sure your 3 rolls that are hanging down do not get twisted and tangled up. I usually let my 3 rolls of Deco mesh just kind of drop to the floor, and then I try to each time kind of straighten it to make sure everything's in the same order. And it's more important to make sure that you're keeping your colors in the same order when you use 3 colors. It's not that bad when you're just using 1 color, but if you have 3 different colors going, then you're going to want to keep them in the same order throughout the whole wreath process. Okay guys, so I have reached the end. Now not all rolls have the same amount. It seems like when you're using the Dollar Tree mesh. Some run out a little faster than others. So here I am just cutting them off. Next, I am going to take the ends and we are just going to push it through the middle wires to the back of the wreath form. Once you have it pulled through to the back, then I like to just take some of the pipe cleaners, untwist them, put that tail in it, and then twist the pipe cleaner back. now that I have my wreath almost finished, all I have to do is separate the bubbles. So usually the mesh that's on the bottom, I pull it to the inner circle. The mesh that's in the center stays in the center or middle, and then the mesh that's on the top, I usually pull it to the outer circle. And I do the same process all the way around the wreath. And when you have 3 different colors, it really looks pretty. Once you have your bubbles separated, it makes a big, beautiful, full, fluffy wreath. At the beginning of the video, I said I didn't know which sign I was going to use. I found all of these signs at Dollar Tree, so you can do this entire wreath with Dollar Tree materials. You'll have to let me know which sign is your favorite and if I chose the right one or not. I just found that sign yesterday, and I also shared a Dollar Tree Shop With Me video, so if you haven't checked out that video, I can link it below for you. I love the colors of this sign. Sweet summer, fruit stand, juice bar, just so bright and cheerful and happy. And so I had to pair it with some bright, cheerful colors of ribbon too. So I did tie 2 bows. So I let out a tail. Now I'm going to make a loop, pinch it tightly in my hand. Going to go to the other side, make another loop about the same size, about a 3.5 inch loop, because I didn't want the bow to be too big. Now I'm going back to the other side, and just try to not fight with your ribbon. Try to kind of let it bend the way it wants to bend, and just hold it tight in your left hand or right hand. Now I'm back on the other side. I'm going to try to make my loops the same size on each side, and just keep holding in the middle. Then I'm going to let out a tail. This is 1.5 inch width ribbon with wire. Both colors came from Sam's Club this spring. So now I'm going to take my second color, let out a tail, placing it directly over my first color, keeping it pinched tightly in my left hand. Now I'm going to let out some ribbon, make a loop. Now this one does have a pattern, so I had to twist the ribbon to keep the design on top. So I'm making about 3.5 inch loops with the yellow ribbon. So I want to make sure my loops are the same size on each side. So 2 loops on the left, 2 loops on the right. And this is a petite bow. I didn't make it too big. That's why I'm only doing 3.5 inch loops. So once you have the bow the size you want, you're going to want to have either a zip tie or some floral wire close by to wrap it nice and tight around the center of your bow. I'm taking a zip tie and just going to wrap it nice and tight around the center of my bow. And then in a little bit, you'll see me add some floral wire so that I can easily attach it to my wreath. So just make sure you get the zip tie in the center, cut off the extra part of the zip tie that sticks out. And then you're going to want to either cut your ends at a slant or a knife cut, or dovetail the ends. And here I'm just cutting mine at a slant. And then here it's time to fluff the loops of your bow. Now just be patient when you're shaping your bow. I have lots of bow tutorials on my YouTube channel, so if you don't like this bow, let me know and I could try to link something different for you, or you can go check out my bow tutorial playlist. Now I'm taking a piece of 20 gauge floral wire, sliding it under the zip tie, and that way I can easily attach my bow to my wreath. I'll just take my floral wire, thread those wires through the Deco mesh, then go to the back, give those wires a few twists, cut them off short and fold them down. So that makes it so easy to attach your bow. And then I don't know what these things are called. Someone told me about them in a previous video, so I got on Amazon and ordered them, and now I can't remember what they're called. So I'm trying something new, so if I like it, I'll have my husband look and see if he can find out the name so I can share it with you, or if you know, let me know below. I usually hot glue pipe cleaners onto the back of my signs, so I'm just taking the little paper, peeling it off, and they stick right onto the back of your sign. And then you can take a zip tie or a pipe cleaner and thread it through the little hole. So simple. And they were inexpensive. I can't remember. I got 2 or 3 big bags of these for like around $10. Next, I just took a pipe cleaner and threaded it through the little hole. You could use a zip tie if you wanted to attach your sign to your wreath. They also came with a bunch of zip ties, so I'm not sure if they're called like zip tie connectors or what, but let me know if you know the correct name for these in case someone else wants to buy some on Amazon. To attach my sign to my wreath, I just went to the top, took the pipe cleaner, separated the bubbles, threaded my pipe cleaners through the wire wreath ring, then I went to the back and gave my pipe cleaners a few twists and then folded them down. You might want to use a different color pipe cleaner when attaching your sign, that way you can see it a little bit easier. Now I'm just doing the same steps on the bottom to attach the bottom of the sign. You can make this wreath for any season or holiday. I am just making mine for summer because it is the 12th day of June. You will have to let me know in the comments section if you have a fun vacation planned. And next I am taking my bow and I'm going to the top left side and threading the wires through the Deco mesh, through the wreath ring. Then I'm going to go to the back and give the wires a few twists, cut them off short, and fold them down. Now just be patient, thread your wires through the mesh, go to the back and give the wires a few twists. I did tie a second bow. I made it a little bit smaller and I placed it on the bottom right side of the wreath. I love the bright, cheerful colors of this wreath. It just makes me so happy. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment, share this tutorial, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Click that subscribe button for me, please. Don't forget, I am also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Keeping It Simple Crafts. So if you make one of my wreaths, I would love to see it, so tag me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and thank you guys that always leave the sweetest and most positive comments on my tutorials and my Shop With Me videos. I really appreciate y'all so much.